Well, a warm welcome to you all. This is our Friday live carnivore conversation. I'm JJ. I'm a life coach and I eat mostly meat.
I'm Eric. I'm a novelist and I eat mostly meat as well.
You do.
And our audio in our own ears is very strange. At least in my ears it is. So I don't know what's going on with that, but we're going to continue. So I have a question for you, Michael Allen Francis Sheaver. Hello.
Hello.
Could you hear the theme music when we started? Because I don't know if any of that audio is going out on the stream. So that would be helpful to know. So it's our 2,000 subscriber celebration. It has been quite an amazing journey to get to this point.
It really has. Now, we started recording near the end of December. I believe it was December 19th. And we did it kind of it was a spur of the moment decision.
Yeah.
As our decisions often are.
Yeah, we were walking along one day going, how are we going to pay for this property and this remodel? I know, we'll do YouTube. That'll pay for 1 gallon of gas.
Yeah. So we jumped on board. But the thing is, even though it was a really quick decision, which again, you tend to be really big on those, like you're either in or you're out and you don't like to think about things. It's just full steam. So we decided that we would do a year of streaming or recordings, YouTube, and that we would do it twice a week. So that was our commitment, to just do that and let the chips fall where they may. And we were hoping by the end of the year to get to 1,000.
That's right.
Yeah. And we were delighted when that happened at the beginning of June. It was amazing.
Yeah, it's very strange how the very first video we did, it got like 10 views the first day. And I think just through search because it was a carnivore topic. And then we were going for a walk and I was obsessively refreshing the app.
As you do.
And all of a sudden one day it was like 2 days in, all of a sudden there was 200 views.
Yeah.
And I said, it's got 200 views. And then we walked a little longer and I refreshed. I'm like, it's got 250 views. We're amazing. We were so excited because it was actually working and then it didn't do that again.
No, but you and I have both done little YouTube projects in the past and they didn't get any traction whatsoever. So that was pretty incredible. And so we have been doing it since December and just really loving this and loving that we can actually connect with you through this channel.
It's been amazing. We've made friends now on YouTube who are fellow carnivores who are showing up every video. They leave a nice comment and it really keeps us wanting to do this. And so here we are.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. And if you're not subscribed, we're already at 2,100 subscribers. So you can subscribe by helping us get to the next milestone, which is 2,101.
Will you be 2,101?
So should we talk some...
Well, we shall, but first, if you are here, we've already heard from some of you in the chats, but if you're here or watching the replay, we would love you to say hello and also where you're from and whether you're carnivore curious or how long you've been on carnivore.
Yeah, right.
We'd love to hear that information.
So we're carnivore, and I think that I want to talk about my pants.
Now, it's almost like women will complain about buying jeans.
Okay.
Because it can be really hard to find a size and buying them online is challenging and sizing's all different. And while we do have some brands that use measurements like a man's jeans, lots of them don't. So jeans are really hard to buy. Well, yeah, you've almost been having a woman's jean type experience.
I have?
Yeah. You bought a pair, or at least one pair, and they didn't fit you.
Oh, recently.
Recently.
Yes.
They didn't fit you. And you had to buy another pair.
So I got up. I've lost almost 30 pounds on carnivore since I started. And my largest waist size was a 36. And I was 205 pounds and they were snug but fit. And in high school, I wore a 32 waist. And so I have been slowly losing weight over this time. And the 36s went out the window very quickly because I lost inches quickly.
Yeah, you do that.
And then I was in the 34s for a long time. And then I had some 32s with stretch, but I kind of was in more of a 33,
Yep.
which is a little bit harder to find. And recently I started to go, my pants keep falling off, even with a belt. And so I said, I've got to get some 32s. I got to get some new 32s. And I did. And they were too loose.
And baggy.
Yes. That had never happened before. And so I ordered from Amazon some 31 waist jeans. And they fit.
They fit great. They look good.
They're not too tight.
No.
And I'm not having to, do that thing where you suck in the gut.
Or unbutton when you sit down.
Like, yeah, it's just
that Al Bundy. Did he do? Or
he would unbutton his button, I think, and then put his hand in to.
By the way, Eric does not do that.
No.
But I mean, you didn't have to unbutton.
But do you remember back way back when I cut apart an old pair of jeans?
Yeah.
And created my button extender.
Yep. I do remember that.
Yeah. That was not high fashion.
But yeah, you blew right past 32. 32.
Yep. So anyway, these jeans will make an appearance on Sunday's video.
Yes.
I will model them for you. I know that I just destroyed all of our statistics for next week.
Michael Allen, Francis Sheaver is just thrilled.
Like they're like, oh man, I gotta wait to see this dude in his jeans. Oh man, it's a joke between us. Anytime I'm on the thumbnail for our videos, it just ruins the traffic. They just want to see JJ. And I get it.
But what's cool is I remember even when you would buy 32s early in our relationship, you were like, it's kind of square. I'd like it if I wasn't like the waist to be less than my
the inseam. Yeah, that's right. So anyway, that was really exciting and kind of gratifying to get to this state because I am slimmer around the middle than I have been as an adult.
Yeah.
And I've got a little more. Oh, we didn't put this on the list, but I want to talk about the tumor.
Yes, please talk about the tumor.
So in the middle of the night, I'm awake, as one does in the middle of the night. And I reach down to my abdomen to scratch an itch. And I'm like, oh, what's this? What's this mass? What's this lump? Oh. And then I felt it. I'm like, that's an abdominal muscle, Eric. I didn't know it felt like that because I've never felt it before. And then the next day I was scratching my side and I was like, oh, no, that's an oblique. It's supposed to be there.
And this is my husband who has a history of medical anxiety.
Yeah.
So
oh my God. It was so, once I realized what it was, I laughed. I could not believe it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. I want to check in on this one.
Yes.
So I'm a dude. I never really thought too much about my face regimen. Mm-hmm. But at some point in our marriage, you said you probably should just, put on some moisturizer at night. So the aging isn't so apparent.
It was not done like that, but so you were probably complaining about dry skin or something.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I've gone through all sorts of different brands and it's just become a habit. Well, I find out one day, already she's beautiful and attractive, but I found out she's been smearing beef tallow on her face. I'm like, well, no wonder I'm so attracted to you.
You smell delicious.
You cook on the green egg and your hair smells like barbecue. What more could a man want from a woman?
Well, yeah, it was fairly early in my carnivore journey, actually. I had been hearing probably Nisha and others, but especially Nisha talk about the what is it? The environment of the skin. What is that called? The biome of the skin.
The biome.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right.
It's making me think of Linda Ronstadt, black on blue biome. All right, go ahead.
So bad.
Tallow.
So anyway, talking about how a lot of chemicals and things that we use can actually affect our skin biome in a negative way. And I have a history of extremely, extremely sensitive skin and even sensitive eyes. Now, Carnivore has taken care of a lot of that sensitivity, especially with the eyes. But I mean, for a while, I was trying anything I could, like just aloe vera on my skin, like really, really not, it wouldn't tolerate anything. So, like I said, by this time, I had started Carnivore, but it was early in my journey. And so my sensitivity was much better, but it totally made sense that I didn't want to mess with the biome of my skin. And someone mentioned tallow, using tallow. I think she does. And so I Googled and I found a skin balm, tallow skin balm online, and I ordered it up and I started using it. It was Traditional Nutrients. This is the jar it came in. And I got just plain because you can get some that have some scent to them, like a lavender scented, but usually those are scented with essential oils. And I knew that in the past, essential oils wreaked havoc on my skin. The sensitivity was too much. So I got just plain old tallow cream and I used it. And I'll tell you how in a minute.
Okay.
But then I used another jar. I ordered another jar, used it. And then I decided, you know what? I have a whole 42-ounce can of South Chicago Wagyu beef tallow.
Food grade.
Food grade. So while I still have my nice jar that I keep up in near my skin routine area, I just refill it with this. That's all I do.
I had no idea she was using a tub of beef tallow on her body.
Yeah. So what I do is I rub it on my face, and I can wear eye makeup now. So I do. And so I let it sit. I really rub it in because eye makeup needs to be dissolved. And yes, that's chemicals, I know. But so I rub it in and I brush my teeth and do whatever else needs to be done. And then I take a warm cloth and I just wipe it off, but it still has soaked into my skin at that point. So that's all I do. And usually that's enough to be cleansed and moisturized. And in the winter, I occasionally also just slick it on. But usually that's it. Now, what's interesting, I didn't tell you this, is a couple weeks ago, one of my favorite YouTubers, not a carnivore, was talking about a skincare line that I happen to have in my drawer and how great it was for anti-aging. So I started using that with my tallow, and my skin started getting red.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just sticking to the tallow.
So if I'm going to do the tallow regime, do I just smear it on?
Yeah.
And just leave it, or do I have to wipe it off?
You can do either.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not like it does, because I have done both. And it doesn't soak into the skin immediately. Like you wouldn't want to go lay down on your pillow right away. But within a few minutes, it pretty much soaks in. And you don't put a real thick layer on. You don't.
Could I use bacon grease?
Yeah, I think Nisha has.
Oh, really?
But I didn't want to smell like bacon. So, I mean, beef tallow has a slight scent, but not like
no,
bacon.
It's not very strong.
No.
So I was surprised. Anyway,
No.
I was completely out.
But
I didn't know anything about
between
that
this and my diet, I've got skin that I haven't had in ages, just ages. And yeah, I'm really happy with the regime. It's easy. It's not that expensive, and my skin reacts great to it.
We got a ton of messages here from Michael Allen, Francis Sheaver. That's a long name, Michael. Congrats, fellow proper human diet enthusiasts.
Yes.
Thank you. Laura K says, "Hear you just fine. Congrats, you two." Thank you so much, Laura. Jennifer says, "Good afternoon from Saskatoon." That rhymes. I like it.
Welcome back, Jennifer.
Welcome
back,
Kay.
Good to see you.
Alan says, "Carnivore 27 months, not a single salad because salad is toxic."
I hope you saw our live stream last week's Alan, because you were on my shoulder and I talked about it a
Yeah.
little last week.
And I think we mentioned the salad is toxic in our video coming up on Sunday as well.
We do.
Let's see. Michael says, Alexandria, Virginia, been carnivore since March 2019. Oh, wait, let me drop this so it's easier for people to read.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Progressively moving by necessity to the full-on lion.
Oh, wow.
Ruminant-only diet, including beef bacon. But he is down 63 and down to high school pant size of 29-inch waist.
Wow.
That is amazing.
Fabulous.
And it's awesome that the lion diet is kind of a thing, because to me, that would be non-obvious. I know Carrie's doing that right now, Homestead How. I don't know why he's doing it, because I don't think I've seen his explanation, but
I think he's experimenting.
yeah, he's always experimenting.
Yeah.
But I just saw Michaela Peterson on something else recently talking about the whole thing again. I was like, I don't want to do that, but I'm glad I know it exists in case I do need to know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Alan says, I make beef bacon with no sugar in the cure. It's the bomb.
I have never had beef bacon.
You can't just get that at the store?
I don't know. Can you get it at the store?
I don't know. I've never heard of beef bacon. Alan uses a tallow shaving cream.
Interesting.
I need to shave. I've kind of missed the boat this morning. So I may have to figure that out. Do you just, I don't know, people whip tallow, right? Or fats?
I'm guessing, and you can correct us, Alan, I'm guessing you buy the shaving cream, or do you just use tallow?
Maybe you put it in the refrigerator.
It says
get
a tallow shaving cream.
Yeah. A tallow shaving. I don't know. Let's see. Elva, hi everyone. Congratulations. JJ and Eric, I started using tallow on my face before starting carnivore, and I love it. I'm on a second bottle now. Well, the crazy thing to me is that, when I get close to your face, you don't smell like a cow.
Great. I'm glad I don't. No.
So whatever it is not off-putting.
Yeah.
In the slightest. We have someone else from Saskatchewan here. We have Regina Orlick.
Hello, Regina.
Are you?
Oh, from Regina.
Wait a minute. Your name is Regina and you're from Regina.
Well, her handle is Regina.
Oh, that's true. So who knows?
Yes. Welcome.
Welcome, A. I don't know if you say that in Saskatchewan. I don't know if that's a different part of Canada. If you're enjoying this live stream or our channel, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe, of course, because we want to get to the next milestone, which is 2,101 subscribers.
It could be you.
Diana Darling. Ooh, congrats on 2K.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I feel like I should do the air horn, but the problem is I just hit the button, but I don't think it's coming through to you guys.
Yeah.
So I don't know why that is. I'm going to have to figure that out, because if you watch live streamers, they use the air horn all the time, and I want to be annoying like them.
I thought you were going to say cool. I want to be cool.
I decided it's just kind of not cool. Let's see. Michael says he's talking about the beef bacon. It's surprisingly available in mainstream grocery stores.
Now I'll have to check that out.
I'll be frank, I don't go to the grocery store frequently because you're more the grocery shopper. But when I look in the bacon section, I'm just looking for the color of the label that looks like the bacon we usually get. And I don't even know what brand it is. Oh, yes, her name is Regina from Regina.
Oh, excellent.
Okay, Diana heard the horn.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, come on. No, that would scare our dog. Oh, come on.
Laura heard the horn too.
Okay.
Okay, Elva says, my tallow has a bit of honey and has no aroma, and she heard the horn. I will, wait a minute. Annette is in the chat.
Hello, Annette.
That's funny. You've made it, Annette. Yeah. Thank you, Annette, for being one of our very early subscribers and helping us get us to this wonderful milestone. Mm-hmm. Your ongoing support and all your comments have been very important to us, and we've been very grateful for it. Let's see. let's see. Jennifer Hackett started using bison tallow balm scented with lavender for my hands. Best hand cream ever. Now, what was this stuff? The Udder Balm.
I don't think Udder Balm is, I think it's a petroleum product.
It probably is.
I think it is. My dad used to use that. He worked in a factory and he had huge gorilla hands. He was 6'4", and he would have to use tallow balm in the winter. And I think it was just the petroleum.
Just the Udder Balm?
Or, yeah. Udder Balm.
I just remember it was kind of sticky and I didn't like it. But yeah, I'm going to have to try some tallow on my hands and face and see if all of the wildlife come after
I
me.
was going to say the dogs will notice because I try to, if I use it on my legs a little bit sometimes, I try to do it, with time before leaving the bedroom and greeting the dogs.
Because the dogs will be licking your legs.
They would be licking my legs.
That's gross.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't do that.
But I can understand it from their point of view. Annette says, "Ha, yes, you're welcome. I appreciate my fellow Gen Xers." So all five of us Gen Xers who exist are a tight group.
Yep. 3 of us are here.
Bag balm.
Yes. Yep.
Elva says, "Do y'all have an email for contact?" And we do. And while you talk to them, I'm going to remember what it is.
You left me with no subject at all. I already talked about my hands or my dad's hands. So, that was that. I can go on to talk about the fact that for the last 2 to 3 weeks, I have been starving.
Right.
I feel like I'm hungry nearly all the time. I even did, for those of you who've been around, you know that I tend to do an eating window. So I've done that. We did shift our eating window. Maybe that has something to do with it. But at first it started fine, the new eating window. And I've never had such an issue with being hungry on Carnivore. And it happened today. We had our main meal of the day. I was full, could not eat another bite. And like 40 minutes later, I'm feeling like I'm starving again. And even where I think it's a satiety thing, because I even had one earlier this week where my stomach was full, but I felt ravenous. And so I know there are probably suggestions out there. You can leave them, but I have probably tried them all, adding fat, protein, all the things I've done the last couple weeks. And I've got 2 theories. One's not such a theory. One is that it could be just my leptin levels. So leptin is a hormone that helps with satiety. And it is, it is made by adipose cells. So the irony is that as we get slimmer, our satiety goes down because the leptin goes down. So if you think about it though, in survival terms, when we're getting too thin, the body is signaling that you need to eat more. So I'm just wondering if I've hit this threshold in my fat loss journey where all of a sudden my body's leptin is signaling me to eat more, that I'm not as satiated. What, you're looking at me?
I'm trying to decide whether this is a flex.
I didn't mean it. No, I didn't mean it.
I'm just too thin. I'm hungry all the time.
No, but I know that I'm near
your ideal weight you've hit it.
I've hit my ideal weight. My doctor says he's not telling me to lose any more weight, but he says, yeah, if you go down a couple more pounds, you're going to be fine. So I'm right there. So I'm not sure if it's just a hormonal thing that's sort of shifted, if it's maybe our eating window and the shift with that. Or here's my other theory is that I have not been this thin as an adult since my 20s as we move into fall. So maybe I'm also just getting sort of that fall signal to start putting on pounds. Winter is coming type thing too. I don't know. Or maybe it's a combination of both. But anyway, I have been really hungry. So I have not always stuck to my eating window, which is fine. I'm like, okay with this. If I'm hungry, I'm going to eat.
Of course. Yeah.
And yeah, we'll just see what happens. It's just very interesting to have such a dramatic shift about 22 months in.
I guess it just goes to show that it is a ongoing process.
Yeah.
You adapt and then you readapt and readapt.
Yeah,
and,
things just happen.
I'm not there where I'm starving all the time.
You were before. Weren't you starving a lot though early on?
Well,
even
before I
earlier this
quit
year?
dairy,
Yeah, that's it.
after I stopped dairy, I wasn't. So I don't know what's going on that.
That's it.
I have added a little dairy back in for reasons, but not the way I was eating it before.
Mhm.
So the email address is jjandericlife@gmail.com. The reason I had to go look it up is because I couldn't remember if it was JJ and Eric Carnivore or JJ and Eric Life. But I guess when I went to this level of creating an actual email address for us, I was like, no, not JJ and Eric Carnivore. I don't want to limit the brand. We want a lifestyle brand. I like to think big. Let me take that down. We are going to be in LaSalle, Illinois tomorrow at Mudge Farms for a meetup. And I guess there's going to be a beef sale. There's going to be a brisket dinner.
I'm excited about the brisket.
And let me see if I can show that to you.
This is our second meetup that we've done. And I'm just wondering, you give the information and then I have a question for you.
So anyway, it's going to be at Mudge Farm at 5 p.m. There will be a brisket supper, and then there will be a meetup at 5:30. Excuse me. And we're going because the Amanda Radke, the cattle rancher that we interviewed a week or so ago, is going to be there, and she invited everybody. So we're going to go down and say hi to her and meet a bunch of carnivores and eat some brisket.
We are not bringing a cooler though, because right now our freezer is full.
It's full of Wagyu.
Yeah. We have quite a bit of meat right now, so we don't have space for more. We
would have given more notice, but we didn't know whether we were going or not. So
as I said earlier on this live stream, we sort of it's make a decision and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like a 2-hour drive one way. So.
It is. It's not bad, but it's not in our total backyard.
So anyway, we're going to be at that, and hopefully we'll bring you some little video snippets from that as well.
But here's my question for you.
Okay.
Is carnivore turning you into an extrovert? This is our second meetup. It's meetup number 2.
You're better positioned to answer that than I am. Do you think carnivore has made me an extrovert?
No. No, I don't think so.
I think it's probably made it easier for me to have conversations with strangers than more often than I normally would have. I don't really know why that would be, but maybe it's just the mental health side of it or something.
I will say that we've talked about it before. When both of us have had our various health and mental health issues, we stuck pretty close to home. So it is true that I don't think it's making you an extrovert, but I mean, look at the meetup is at 5:30. It's a 2-hour drive. In the past, we would have been both passed out at 7:30 or nearly, like just brain dead, brain fog, exhausted on the sofa by 7:30. Yep. So we are able to do this now.
Let's see. Did we get this one? Michelle says, "Hi guys, I caught a live."
Hello, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. How you doing? I don't know where you're from.
Tell us where.
I've seen your face before.
Yes.
On comments. You're saying, "I'm going through the change and slowly gained about 10 to 15 pounds after being keto carnivore for almost 6 years. Really having trouble shedding it again and controlling my hunger." Oh.
Yeah. And I've heard so I have been in menopause for several years now. pre-carnivore. And I have heard that that is a transition for other carnivore women, that they'll gain some weight and then all of a sudden things shift. So yeah, I just think we do enter these different phases, and what phase am I entering? I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, she says Brookings, Oregon, on the
Hello.
coast. So I know where Lincoln City is, but I don't know where Brookings is. Jos K, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Are you going to the meetup with Bid on Beef you mentioned in your video? We just answered that. I'm sorry I missed that earlier, but yep, we are going to be there.
We are.
Are you going to be there? If you are, how would they recognize us?
Well, here's one thing. Eric will be wearing a ball cap and glasses. And so that Carrie, when we met Carrie from Homestead How,
Yeah.
he said that really threw him.
Oh,
because
when I took it off, then,
like he was like, I think I recognize the woman. But who is this guy?
Yeah, a lot of people say that when I show up. Annette says, you're thinking big with the brand. Yes, many people are saying that this thing could be huge. Alan says, I watch all your videos. Thank you, Alan. We always look forward to seeing your salad is toxic comment. Let's see. Michael says, your interview with Amanda is how I found you.
Oh,
I'm guessing that's true of a lot.
excellent.
Her video has been our most popular so far by a long shot, and it's still going strong.
Yeah, as you know, it was a really amazing interview, and you really did a lot of the research and asked most of the questions, which is fine. And it was I learned so much. It was an amazing interview. Yeah, and she was so gracious, which was wonderful too.
Let's see. Michelle says she's ready to be over menopause.
Yes, the other side is good. Much better.
I have no comment. Alan's talking about JKLM Farm Tallow Shaving Soap. Okay, now I know what it is. I can go look it up and give it a try.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm using something with toxic chemicals in it.
You are, yes. But I have to tell you, if you're looking for my brand here for your moisturizing, we're out right now. So we've got some coming, but this one is empty.
We know it's good because it's Wagyu tallow.
I only use Wagyu on my
probably doesn't make any difference
is that?
at all.
Yeah, was it Elizabeth Taylor or someone back in the day was like, I only use Wagyu.
I went to a chiropractor today for the first time in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone on and off and kind of had mixed experiences. Usually it's something acute issue sends me in just out of sort of desperation. And I was talking to him and I mentioned I was a carnivore, and he's like, oh, I love that you're carnivore. And he said, I don't remember if he was carnivore or just low carb. And he said he'd lost 30, 35 pounds recently doing it. And so he was totally on board with it. And he said, we were talking about some other topic. He's like, let me write down a name of a guy on YouTube you should watch. And it was Dr. Bob Cyas, the carb addiction doc. And I'm like, yeah, of course. And then he said, do you know the Homestead How guy? And I'm like, yeah.
Yes, we do.
So it was really fun to actually meet somebody in the real world who's in the healthcare giving industry, who was like all on board, and very happy to hear that I was carnivore. But it's such a contrast to those who hear it and they think that we're stupid.
Yes.
They don't think, I don't think they think we're crazy. They think we're literally dumb people. And we're not. We're smart people. I mean, if I do say so myself. But the programming around fruits and vegetables is so deep that to suggest that you should avoid them, even if to suggest to moderate them.
Yeah.
I feel like I just spit all over the place. People look at you like you're the dumbest person I've ever met in my entire life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just had a family member. And again, I know that this family member has been in the paradigm. I've been gluten-free for almost 13 years. And so I know they're excited for me. She found out that I could possibly eat sourdough bread that was properly prepared and fermented and like the whole 9 yards. So really excited about that. And like I said, I get it. She's in this paradigm that I've been in for 11 out of the 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I've said I'm not like grains are the worst for me and that I eat mostly meat, she was suggesting that maybe I could introduce a sourdough bread into my diet. And I'm like, no. I might be able to tolerate it, but no, why would I? There's zero reasons for adding it.
Well,
back
I
in.
mean, if you kind of try to put yourself in her point of view, she thinks you're insane for eating the way you're eating and can't even conceive that it's a good idea.
Yeah.
And today on these lives, I often show an article that's poo-pooing carnivore. And I found the best one of all times. And I just could not bring myself to want to bring it to this because it was presented as a fact check.
Oh, yes, you did mention this.
And their whole thing was to try to counter misinformation about carnivore. And of course, they went to doctors, they went to nutritionists, and they said all the same things that we hear all the time about saturated fat and that it's going to hurt your kidneys, it's going to give you gout, it can't help your psoriasis, it can't help your eczema, it can't help your arthritis.
No fiber.
It is unsustainable. You cannot get all the nutrients that you need from it without having, and it's extremely limiting. It's extreme. It's an extreme diet. And all of these things. And I was like trying to twist my brain into the old paradigm where I could see through that point of view and go, what unbelievable hubris these doctors that they went to were guilty of. This total smug superiority to think that they can disprove what hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of carnivores are testifying to every single day all over the internet and have proof of in their own life. You can find example after example of skin conditions reversed, weight lost, A1Cs normalized, blood pressure normalized. You can see it again and again and again, and they will look you in the eye and they will tell you it's misinformation. And that is just so infuriating. And so I'm mad now, and I didn't bring the article because I didn't want to get mad, but I'm mad.
But you're mad.
Because I'm sick of people looking at me and thinking I'm stupid when they're the ones who are completely wrong. And of course they have patients, they have clients.
Yes.
And they're just leading them down this ridiculous path that is not going to work. And eventually some of them get desperate enough. And they're like, well, I've tried everything else. Let me try carnivore. And then suddenly the scales fall from their eyes and they're like, everything I was told was false. And then
backwards.
That just destroys trust in the whole system. And that's sad because you kind of need trust for the society to work. So anyway, sorry for getting on my soapbox, but it's just starting, it builds.
And we each go through it. You and I both. Some days I'm the one who's like, I cannot believe this. This is just insane that this information is being discounted, dismissed, and not actually being out there helping people, which is why we're doing what we do. We've said it before. We don't have the most miraculous story of weight loss. We have not lost 100 pounds and all these huge stories that we hear and that we're going to see on Carrie's movie. We don't have the huge story, but we have a story where our lives were regained.
We don't have a huge story, but it's a huge story in our lives.
Yes. Yes.
And it can be in so many others if people just
Yeah.
get out of the way.
Yeah. And you don't have to be like, this is my my last desperate attempt. It would be so wonderful if it would be attempted before we're already down the poor health, poor mental health rabbit hole.
I can see why Carrie gets so passionate and he's so driven to do what he's doing. I'm so excited to see the movie when it comes out. Okay, let's calm down. Calm down a little bit. Let's see.
We're checking the comments
Hope.
here.
Hi, Hope. I use tallow that I render myself on my face. I don't wipe it off. My husband and I have been carnivore since April of 2023. Live just outside of Mission, British Columbia.
Yeah.
I don't know where that is. I know where Vancouver is. And was it Yoho or Yoo-hoo?
Yes. Do you remember we got married in Canada, honeymooned, and the guy in our second bed and breakfast had a little bit of an accent when he would talk about Yoho.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Yoho.
I can't replicate his accent.
But the one thing we never want to replicate was the pear crepes that he fed us the next morning. Absolutely the worst thing I've ever gagged down in my entire life.
Eric was not a fan of pears, even pre-carnivore.
No, detest pears. Annette says, yes, the medical hubris is unhinged at this point. Yeah, it is. Let's see. Michelle says, preach it. Yeah. I've been freed from so many afflictions. The biggest and baddest is, I don't know how to pronounce this. Yogan Syndrome, an autoimmune disease.
But I can't think of it now.
Not to mention metabolic syndrome and all the rest.
Congratulations on that. That is huge. That is huge.
The spelling looks Scandinavian, so who knows how to pronounce it. Jennifer says, as a nurse, I regret teaching my patients to eat in color. My great aunt, she was said, as a rule, you should eat all of the colors every day for health. And I said, purple? And she went, no, there are purple foods, but she defaulted to grapes. And I felt like that was a little weak. Come on, Aunt Myrtle. Her name really was Myrtle, too.
I was wondering which aunt it was. I was like, which aunt would be? Well, it's really interesting. I have mentioned I'm not a healthcare practitioner at all. I'm a life coach, and I have said that I'm really wondering about what I do for my career, because it just seems like people would need a base of metabolic health. Like, it just feels like people are ramming their head against the wall. And I help people with mindset types of things and motivation. And if we're eating the standard American diet, it just is like, it's an uphill climb, and people can do it. I did it. I did a lot of mindset work and changing, but holy cow, it's almost a crime to do it the hard way. I just feel like if they could get on board shifting their diet, that so much would fall into place.
Yeah, I agreed.
Yeah.
With any sort of motivation or just trying to up-level life.
Yes.
If you're eating the sad American diet, you're doing it on hard mode, just out of the gate, because you're not getting the nutrition, and your energy metabolism is just screwed up.
It's just
and it just makes everything harder. I don't understand how Warren Buffett is so successful eating McDonald's and Dairy Queen and drinking Cokes all the time. He's got some sort of special metabolism, but I can't really fault him. He's 98 or something now. I don't know how old he is, but he's kind of the exception to the rule of it's better to eat actual food. Oh, let's see. Michael says, I stopped watching mainstream media TV 20 years, but my family does. And when I do, I'm amazed at how many pharmacy commercials are playing ad nauseum.
We don't really watch TV either, but we did watch the Olympics.
Yeah. And every commercial was pharmaceutical.
Yeah.
I mean, there were a few other things, but it was all pharmaceutical.
Predominantly pharmaceutical. It's just
and
you even said, this sounds like the old Saturday Night Live type skits, where it lists all of the side effects. Yeah.
You may experience mild eye bleeding.
But I think that, that just puts us into the mindset that you have a condition and it needs to be treated with medicine. It's
Yeah.
just this permeating.
So what are you going to do, Coach JJ?
What am I going to do?
Yeah.
With my business?
Yeah. I'm putting her on the spot.
She really is. So I've been slowly, just casually going through a carnivore keto certification so that I can have that education behind me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have plans for what I'm going to do yet. I know we are getting this property.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be moving in hopefully next month, it looks like. And that it has some great space for meetups as well as meetings and VIP days. And I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm kind of waiting to see what path to take based, what do people need? What do people want?
What do you want to do?
What I want to do. Yeah. And I just don't know the answer yet. But I'm pretty comfortable being in the unknown.
Yeah.
I'm not going to force anything. I've done that with my business so many times.
Don't you want to create another sales funnel?
No, I do not. I was doing really good pre-pandemic, good into pandemic. And then I just realized I do not want to do another sales funnel. And so I'm just waiting to see what presents itself and what sounds like it's really fun to do and helpful. So I don't know yet.
Well, apparently your idea is good because Michelle said, she said, maybe you should get a health coach certified, like through Mark Sisson's company Primal, and combine the two. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And so at some point you might see me do some offerings. I do like to teach a lot and I'm a pretty good teacher. And so, yeah, I can even do little small group online things and webinars and things, but we got to get into the new place first, just for my sanity, so that I'm no longer picking out towel bars and toilet paper holders and all of the other decisions that went into that. I spared you a lot of that because
you did.
That's
really boring.
Yeah.
Alan says, my farmer is delivering 2 lambs to the butcher in September. Milk-fed lambs are wonderful. I've had just a very small amount of lamb or sheep in my entire life as food. And what I had, I didn't particularly love. So I feel like it's an area for experimentation for us to see if there's another meat we can get into.
Milk-fed, though, sounds like it would, it just sounds like the flavor would be very different in a good way.
What about sheep? Have you ever had sheep?
Just euros, right? That's lamb, right?
Well, lamb is a littler sheep.
Right. Okay. So what's a euro?
I don't know. It's pretty close to $1.
A gyro.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the extent of my whatever meat that is.
Yeah.
But I had a friend in high school who was a cook and he would make them for me. Those were really good. But I mean, they're also on pita bread and slathered in sauce. So they were very good.
How many of you have ever had ectopic heartbeats, skipped heartbeats, PVCs, PACs? It's something that I've had on and off for many, many years. I had an arrhythmia back when I was around 30, 35 that got fixed with an ablation. But every once in a while I would still get a little skipped heartbeat. And the cardiologist was like, it's not dangerous. It's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. If they're bothering you, I will write you a prescription for a beta blocker.
Yes.
And I said, no, I'm fine. I'm good right now. But recently I'd mentioned that I've been having my old anxiety kind of pop up. And recently I had been having way more of these PACs, these ectopic beats.
Now, remember, this is the man who thought his abs were a tumor. So while your mental health is much better and you roll with it much better.
Yeah.
I mean, this is This is like, uh-oh.
Well, it's disconcerting when you
Yeah.
when you feel it very strongly. And one day I had my coffee, I sat down, and all of a sudden I had like this string of them. And I was like, oh, that's happening. Do I have enough magnesium? Have I had enough potassium? I'm like, I kind of feel like I have. I mean, I have a couple elements a day usually, and I put salt on everything. So I'm like, what's going on? Well, two things. One, I found out that supplementing taurine really helps reduce them. Why, I don't know. But thankfully, the internet exists, and I found this tip.
Now, you said you took some taurine and were like mellowed out.
That one time.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
The
One
first time. The first time, it just, I got really quite relaxed from it. But I've continued to take it, and I think it's made a significant difference. But what I didn't know is if you have a hiatal hernia, which I do, I have a very tiny one that was picked up during my CAC score, actually. The radiologist noted it in the notes. And so I went down the YouTube rabbit hole and found out that any sort of hiatal hernia can press on the vagus nerve and induce missed heartbeats or skipped or early heartbeats and stuff. And I did not know any of that. And no doctor, none of the 3 or 4 cardiologists I've ever seen in my life ever brought it up. I don't know if they know about this secret thing. But I was just shocked to find this out. But I wanted to share it on the live so that if any of you have experienced this or it applies to you, you can start maybe going down that rabbit hole and finding out. That's fake Dr. Eric saying hiatal hernias can cause, and that can also contribute to anxiety and panic attacks arising spontaneously out of nowhere. And definitely has for me recently. So, but I think my anxiety is on the downslope now. I think I've kind of dialed in some things that are helping and getting back on track. That's the plan, including I've been getting a lot of sunlight on my skin on purpose.
Now, even though you've been having these issues, you have rolled with them really well, though.
Compared to the old days.
Compared to the old days where it would take you out. It would take you out, period.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take you out. And no, you've been able to be very mindful. And like you said, okay, there it goes. But still looking for some solution.
Yeah. Yeah, taurine, let's see, Carnivore is saying, so interesting. I think taurine is found in beef, chicken hearts. Yeah, I think you can get it in organ meat. It just seems like even being carnivore, because it's not an amino acid that is maybe as present as much in meat and eggs because the body can make it. So it's not an essential. The body can make it, but maybe it just doesn't make enough. It's also, I think it's really good to go down the taurine rabbit hole on YouTube because it's very involved in electrolyte management. So you need to be having your sufficient potassium and salt and magnesium as well.
So you are supplementing, just to be clear.
Yes,
you are
I'm supplementing because it's working.
Taurine.
Yeah, and it's in Red Bull.
I was just gonna say, are you drinking Red Bull?
No. So when we went to the health food store to look for taurine, you were like, "This isn't gonna make it worse and get you all jacked up and hopped up." And I'm like, "No." They put taurine in the Red Bull to actually mitigate the jitters of the caffeine. And it's actually all of the sort of nootropic hackers on Reddit like to take taurine with their coffee because it evens out, kind of like they do with L-theanine.
Okay.
So Carnivore is saying, I learned about it when researching raw diets for cats. Taurine is important for cats because they cannot make it themselves.
Interesting.
So dogs can, I learned.
Huh.
But cats cannot. And so when people make their cats go vegan or vegetarian, they die from the in part because of the taurine issue. Let's see. Michelle says a big glass of ice water will often take you out of the irregular rhythm, and you can get more taurine in pork.
Oh,
I don't know if I knew about the pork.
I don't either, but you know what? We haven't been eating lately. hog log.
Right. We have not been having the tenderloin.
You got sick of the hog log.
So maybe
and
that
it's
should
been
come
off
back.
the menu.
Maybe.
So maybe that's part
Yeah.
of this whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. I like that idea.
Because we used to have it like 2 or 3 times a week.
Grown sheep is mutton. Double yuck.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Best meals I had were in Athens, Greece. I had gyro, euro, and it was lamb. So good. There's also a Greek restaurant at the Pile Place Market in Seattle, and I would get those too. Alan says, us dumb carnivores will be visiting the salad eaters who live in nursing homes.
Right. Right.
Yeah, the future nursing home is going to have people with IVs of canola oil.
Mm.
We'll just keep them going with this heart-healthy vegetable oil. My doctor said I was going to die because my LDL was 365 and I only eat meat. A couple months later, I ran the Boston Marathon. He may have been wrong.
Perhaps.
Interesting. You've got 1 LDL for every day of the year. Except for leap years, and you've got to have an extra egg.
Well, it is interesting though. We where you went to the chiropractor,
Mm-hmm.
I visited the general practitioner there earlier this year, and he also, his brother did carnivore.
Mm.
So, there are some doctors out there. Maybe we can get this movement going a little bit more.
Well, there are many forces arrayed to try to stop it.
Yeah, that is true.
And I am not a doctor. I just want to take this off because if you joined us late and you see that, you might think, oh, it's Dr. Eric.
Oh,
no,
yes, it's Dr.
no,
Eric.
I'm fake Dr. Eric. And we just did a video on that. Did you see the video where I gave JJ 5 prescriptions
5.
and 2 or 3 referrals to specialists? That was so fun to do.
Oh my gosh.
Hope is saying, I believe Dr. Chafee says that there are a percentage of people who cannot create their own taurine. So that is one of the many reasons why we need to eat meat. Yeah.
Maybe it's part of my carnivore Zen bliss too. Maybe that's part of it.
Maybe you are a taurine over generator.
I probably am. I overachieve in a lot of areas.
Another one I'm taking right now is creatine because I've been reading a lot of I've been reading a lot of YouTubes. But I've been finding it kind of interesting. And I did find it helpful for my weightlifting. But I just watched a fascinating one where they were talking about higher dose creatine being really good for the brain. And I'm like, my brain is highly exposed at all times. And so I need all the help I can get. So I'm going to experiment for a little while with that. But there does get to be a point where you just are taking too many things.
Right.
And so it's like you have to look at the whole stack and say, I need to weed out some of this crap.
I was just going to say, I totally get what you're doing. So I'm not fighting you.
Yeah.
We're not having a fight here. And I was on so many supplements for so long that were just propping me up and getting me through the day. Again, I was doing okay, but holy cow, when I went carnivore and was able to strip those away, it is so nice right now to be on very few supplements. And I'm not really looking at adding more in personally at this point, but who knows? Because you and I both like to do a certain amount of sort of experimentation. Yeah. So I'm not saying never, but
I don't fear the supplements maybe as much as I should. I do look to see what is in them though. Yeah. Because they'll try to embed all kinds of crap in those things.
Oh my gosh, so much crap.
I just saw somebody was showing on Twitter, they had a picture of butter. And I guess it's the butter that's served at Texas. What's the Texas? Roadhouse. And it has all kinds of vegetable oils blended into it. And I was like, what? Why would you do that? Because it makes more butter for less money, I guess.
Yep. Gotta love those seed oils.
Annette says, it was a great video. I was hoping people could figure it out. It was a parody. Yeah, I just needed to make sure that YouTube knew that it was a parody. It
Oh
was
my gosh.
so much. We have another one that we want to do where she goes to the doctor and tells him that she's carnivore, because it feels like that has great potential for hilarity, at least to me.
We had a fun time though. We did a run through before we recorded it, and we got some good stuff.
Yeah.
Never on film. Who am I? It was not recorded, but we got some good stuff in that one too.
I don't know, the way you're talking, you need a statin for your fatty brain.
My fatty brain.
Oh man, this is so much fun. Thank you again. Well, wait, let me put this up here.
Yeah, put it up.
2,000 subscriber celebration. Thank you to all of you who are subscribed. And even if you're not subscribed and you're watching us, thank you for joining us. I was going to say tuning in, but that's a anachronism as well. Thanks for clicking in.
Spending some time with us.
And we're going to have a new video for you about the biggest, cheat mistake for carnivore.
The biggest carnivore cheat that will affect your weight loss results.
Yeah, that is coming out Sunday morning.
Yes.
And that means I better get busy editing it together. We are here. We have new videos every Sunday morning at 8 o'clock Central Time, every Wednesday, 8 o'clock at Central Time. And then at a random time on Friday, we live stream for about an hour. And Annette is calling for the blooper reel.
I wish.
Yeah. maybe someday.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you so much. If you know somebody who lives near LaSalle, Illinois, at Mudge Farms, we're going to be at Mudge Farms tomorrow for the meetup and the brisket eating.
Now there's no backing out.
No, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Fortunately, the car drives us, so that helps.
Yes.
Anything else you need to say to these great people?
Just thank you so much for being on this journey with us. And like Eric said, we so appreciate you, and we see your comments and we think of you, and it's
I read
just
your
wonderful.
comments to JJ and say, this is what they said.
He's online a lot more than I am.
I try to get after the comments as quick as I can. So, all right, we're going to sign off because we got to get over to the house and pick out curtains or something.
Yeah, we're looking at window coverings.
Big deal.
Wow.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.